All right, guys, welcome to our call. It is June 10th. We have a really exciting call tonight because there is some amazingness going on right now within the team. um, a lot of you are kicking butt already for June, and it's really awesome to see you guys building momentum in your businesses. Before I go ahead and introduce our speaker, does anybody have any rank advancements from last week they want to shout out?
Casey will be Emerald as of tomorrow, which is so exciting.
Yay! Do we have any?
Liz will be Emerald as of tomorrow also.
Oh, yay. Sorry, I was talking over you. Congrats, guys. It's awesome. Okay. Anybody else? Just want to double check. Okay. Tonight we're going to be listening to Laura. Laura has been a coach for a little less than a month now, and she is Diamond officially as of tomorrow, which is absolutely incredible. It's like unheard of. I thought I hit Diamond fast, and I was nowhere near close to that. It's just so exciting to see her come in and just so passionate and so on fire. And the way that it happened, she went through and did the 21-day fix. She had incredible results. She felt amazing, and she wrote me and said, I want to know how to do what you do because I want to help other people feel as good as I feel. She hit Emerald. I wrote the dates down. I think it was in a week and a half. It was like 10 days maybe. And now she's qualified for Diamond as of tomorrow. She is a part-time nurse in the recovery room, which you know is a pretty intense job. So she's had to be pretty set on how she works her business hours on the side to make this fit for her schedule. And since she came in, she's been on every single call. She asks questions. She's very eager to learn. She's very eager to take advice and I guess what you could say teachable, which is to me one of the most important things to be with your upline so that you can actually learn from them what's worked and what's not worked, and you can take that advice and implement it, because this business is not meant to be done in your own way. There is a system, and if you really take the reins with what you're learning and you apply it, this is what can happen. So I wrote when I posted the link for the call, just as a reminder, I don't want you guys to ever compare yourselves, because a couple people have said to me, how is she doing what she's doing? This is so crazy, and what am I doing wrong? And I will tell you, doubting yourself is an absolute dream killer. It's going to slow down your motivation. It's going to hinder your business. If I were to compare myself to some of the people that I started with, I wouldn't be very happy with where I'm at, but I've had things happen, and it's the entrepreneurial roller coaster, and you just have to keep focused on where you're at and what you're working towards, and your goals are your own. Taryn said comparison is the thief of joy, and that's absolutely true, because we are all running our own businesses, have our own busy schedules. We're trying to make this work for us, and we all set goals accordingly. I just want her to share how she's done what she's done so quickly, so that maybe, it'll help you guys in your businesses, because she probably does it differently than some of us do. So here is Laura. Let me unmute you, and you can take it away and share your not so secrets to your success.
Hopefully my kids cooperate. I am home alone with the two little ones right now. But basically, so I'm Laura, Dana just said, and I started and I emailed Dana because I knew what kind of like how we were getting set up as coaches and stuff. And I emailed her immediately and said, just so you know, like, this is totally just for me, something I'm doing for myself, and I don't want to coach, and I want this to be about my journey and me feeling better about myself and blah, blah, blah. Because I've always been a runner, but I felt like after my second baby, it was harder to get like my abdominal region back or whatnot. Anyway, a few weeks in, I like felt super happy with what was going on with my body, and I was super passionate about it. And I had talked to Dana about it, and she was kind of like, you're already kind of like doing what you need to do. Because I told her, we've talked about it since then, but the original challenge group I was part of wasn't very active. So I felt like I was kind of like crazy, because I'm like, I did this and I did this and then I ate this, and like nobody was really doing a lot. So I felt kind of annoying. And so she was like, this is what you need to do, because you're like motivating people. And like, you know, it still wasn't a very chatty challenge group at the time. And now, you know, we have much more chatty ones, but I was motivated. And I think that is like the number one key to my success right now, is what everyone else is saying, is I just keep talking about it and talking about my story. And like, just as like a little background information that I really don't get into with anyone, but I've like had body distortion issues all my life and an eating disorder for many years, and just kind of struggled with this, you know, in my life. And this is the first time that my sister, who is on the line, Liz, she and I joke that we like at work, I'll go into the bathroom and like lift my shirt up to like check out like how my abs are looking during the day. And it's just like a person I've never met before. Like that's never ever been me. So sharing that kind of stuff with people, and a lot of my friends and people that know me know that I came from a place of not a lot of confidence. And here I am like sharing my story with a lot of people, sharing my journey. I've reached totally out of my comfort zone, and I'm posting on my own personal Facebook page, which I, you know, not that I never posted on there, but I certainly didn't post a lot about myself or about like workouts. I was never that kind of person. I'd occasionally post like a run with the kids, a picture of them or something. But so number one key, I think, is sorry, baby crying, is hold on, I'm sorry, I have to check that.
We all know what that's like, having crazy babies on calls.
Where was I? So I think number one is loving and using the product and showing people that you're using it, because not necessarily the Shakio, but just that you're committed and passionate. Because someone emailed me recently and said, you know, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing this? And then went on to say that she hasn't really finished a program yet, and you know, wants to, but just hasn't really been successful yet. But she really wants to coach, doesn't know she have time, blah, blah, blah. Well, it wasn't, if you think about that story, to me, it wasn't very passionate. So if I was someone thinking about wanting to change my life, it would be hard for me to feel like brought in by her. Like, I feel like you need to like rein people in with your story and your passion. Sorry, I just like, I wrote a few little notes about it. And then, so finding your why, telling your story. And I feel like I'm figuring it out as I go along, because I'm kind of just, you know, using Dana a ton, asking a ton of questions. Like, she's probably sick of me texting and messaging her, because I have to ask her a lot of questions. But, and then being, you know, honest with your people that might want to do challenges. If they ask you something and you don't know it, obviously saying, I don't know that, but I have a huge support. I feel like all of us in this team are super fortunate that we have this huge network of coaches and coaches above them and teams above them that are all here to support us. And that's like amazing. So especially in this type of company, I just feel like we have everything's at our fingertips. You just need to utilize it. And then I've been really diligent about every day, you know, doing what they say and making the network connections and putting myself out there and, you know, making lists, checking them off, and trying. Another big thing that I posted on my personal Facebook page today is I've just always been extremely concerned with what people think of me and making sure that everybody is happy with me. Like, I don't ever want anyone upset with me or thinking that I'm doing the wrong thing or making the wrong decision. And even just personal events that happened today with a friend, I feel like I had to say, I'm making this decision for myself, and I'm really, really happy, and I'm proud of what I'm doing. And, you know, I'm sorry if you don't approve, but it's for me. And I don't know if any of you guys have friends like that in your life. Like, I don't know if it's jealousy of me having success, but it was, you know, super disheartening conversation I had today. And, but I've, you know, even the last few weeks, and I am reading the personal development books that have been recommended and feeling like super inspired by those, and knowing that I need to stand behind what I do. It's like, you can't, you know, I can't even give an example. I don't have it off the top of my head, but you can't sell something that you don't actually believe in and stand behind. Sorry. So that's like essentially what I'm doing. And then I'm listening to what everybody says and doing, all of you guys have like posted things, and I'm following all of your footsteps and just making it happen, I guess. I don't know. And some of it I'm sure is luck. So I don't know. I'm motivated, and I feel like inspired and passionate, and I've gotten a few already like super positive, like little even message feedbacks from challengers that I had that started Monday that are like so happy, and it like gives me chills all over. Like, I feel like we have the opportunity to truly change lives and make differences for people. And obviously I'm a nurse. I like helping people anyway, but this has just been really rewarding already, and I'm, you know, a month in. So thanks, Dana, for pushing me a little bit to do this, but I don't know. That's kind of my spiel right now.
Thank you so much, Laura. A couple of things that you said that stood out to me. You focus a lot on your belief and your passion, and that's so important, because when you're talking to people, if you're not confident with what you're talking about, and you know, if you haven't fully committed to a program and had those results so you can really speak to how differently you feel and what it's done for you, even if you haven't had a huge physical transformation, it's very hard to put that passion into words of how you feel about something and why you think it would help somebody, because essentially people can go anywhere for fitness and nutrition help. You're selling yourself and you're selling your story. You're not selling products. So if you're going about it in a way where you're just pushing Shakeology and you're pushing workouts and you're not really sharing who you are and what it's done for you emotionally, like she's saying, that might be, you know, something that's good to work on, because that is a huge component. And I truly feel that even though you're talking a lot on social media and in messages behind the scenes, people feel that. People feel when you're not confident. People feel when you don't truly believe in what you're telling them, because it might be simple little things like, well, I know it's expensive, but, and when you truly believe in something, you know that it's worth every single penny, and you know that it's worth that investment for their health, and you know 150% that they're going to feel a million times better if they allow you to help them. And that's why it's important to really truly believe in not only yourself and the company and the products, but just what you're sharing with them, that you truly believe it actually can help them. The other thing.
One more thing. Oh, yeah. About that. Can I say one thing about that?
Go ahead, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you remember the other day I texted you because there was a girl at work who wanted to sign up, and she's like pretty small and maybe like needs to lose 5 to 10 pounds. Not huge, but she has a horrible diet, and I was trying to talk to her about the shake and all that, and she was just like, oh, shakes aren't for me. I've tried so many. They don't like them. And I'm like, okay, I'll bring you my shake tomorrow. And I brought it for her, and she didn't like it. And I was like, oh, that's too bad. And I'm like, well, you can make it, you know, there's so many different recipes, blah, blah, blah. Then I texted Dana, and I was like, Dana, what do I do? You know, she's saying she doesn't want the shake, and like, she seems pretty hell-bent on that. And she's like, well, you know, you just talk to her, and if she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it. Well, but she's like, tell her how it makes you feel. And so I went into her little office, and I was like, I just need to tell you that, like, I think it's a lot of my success. Like, it curbs my appetite. It makes me have so much more energy. it, you know, helps me. And I don't even know exactly what I said, but I just talked about how it made me feel. And she was like, okay, I should just do it. And she like totally going from hating shakes to saying, well, I believe you and I know you're telling me the truth and I'm going to do this because I believe in you and what you're saying, I guess, you know? So I just think it is, I didn't have a lot of confidence going in, and then I left and I was like, oh, okay, well, all I did was tell her how it made me feel and she was sold. So I didn't tell her anything about the ingredients or, you know, any of that. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's really proof to how it works, because I myself was a skeptic. I had tried a ton of shakes in the past and absolutely hated all of them, wanted nothing to do with shakes when my upline mentioned them, but I was so desperate to feel better that when she told me what a difference it would make with my energy and how I felt overall and just staying on track, and that's all it took for me. And after 5 days, I was hooked. So the other thing that you were talking about that I think is really important is how, you know, especially in the beginning of coaching, and really no matter where you're at in your journey, because there's always something new that's going to be scary to do. You know, even now there's things that scare me to post because I've had a lot of vulnerable posts, but there's still a lot of things that I haven't shared. So having, you know, that feeling like you're secure in who you are, and a lot of that comes with working on yourself and with personal development, so that you're confident to know that even if it's really, really scary, you know, posting a transformation photo, or Kelly is a great one, for example. She shared a post yesterday, I think it was yesterday or today, about how she, you know, has really struggled with self-worth and not thinking she was good enough or not pretty enough or not thin enough, and all those things, you know, because sharing those things and being confident to do so, even if it's scary to you, being vulnerable like that is what allows people to connect to you. You know, if you're not sharing things like that, it's very hard to relate to someone, because all they see of you is what you put on social media. And if you're not sharing anything about your story, you might be sharing great things like recipes and exercise tips and whatnot, but it's not really making you stand out from anybody else if they can't emotionally relate to some part of your story in some way or another. And you really have no idea the impact that you can make on people by sharing those things, because a lot of people are not confident enough to talk about those things. So the way that I had to train myself to look at this was thinking, you know, I've overcome a lot, and you know, it's basically going unutilized if I don't share that, because there's a lot of people that might still be going through those things, or going through things that I'm going through now, that don't realize that they can overcome those things until they see it with someone else. And it may inspire hope in them that maybe they can do that too, whether it's a weight loss journey or overcoming body image like you spoke about, or self-worth like Kelly talks about. Whatever it is, when you share those things, it really, really draws people into you. And also, the last thing that you mentioned that I thought was awesome was how literally we have everything that we need at our fingertips with Beachbody. You have a success tab in your online office that has amazing articles, trainings, all the trainings from Summit from last year from the elite coaches. There is on YouTube, there is every single top coach you can think of that has YouTube channels with videos and trainings on absolutely any topic. In your online office, if you have never gone in there and clicked on every single tab that is in there and seen what's going on, you're probably missing out on a lot. And if you're confused, ask your upline about it. But the only way to learn is really being hands-on, because you're learning a lot from doing, but you're missing out on certain things that you need to know if you're not out there seeking that growth intentionally. Right now I'm actually reading this, How Successful People Grow, and it talks a lot about you know, bridging the gap from where you are now to where you want to be. That if you want to hit these huge goals that you're setting for yourself, you have to grow into them. You have to be very intentional about what you need to learn to grow into those goals. You know, and what we need for ourselves is different for every single one of us, because we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. But you know, you kind of have to sit back and look at what you're good at and what you need to work on, and then be intentional about learning those things that are going to move you forward. Never be afraid to ask for help. Like Laura says, she asks me all the time, and I personally, as an upline, don't mind that at all. I love it because it shows that you're eager to learn and you're eager to grow, you know, and you're willing and wanting to learn, because I was the same way. But I also did a lot of learning on my own, which has benefited me a lot, because it's different than somebody telling you what to do, especially if somebody's not available, you know, like your upline works full time or something like that, and you can't get a hold of them. Aside from that, I really hope that you can learn from Laura that no matter where you're starting at, and I mean, Laura hasn't even finished Coach Basics training yet, so she doesn't even know all the basics. You know, that if it's basically, to me, her sharing her journey is saying how powerful it is to actually believe in what you're doing and in yourself and in your own journey. And just alone sharing that makes all the difference in the world. You know, if you're trying to learn all these intricates, like, of course you need to know how to sign people up and things like that. But if you're so overly concerned about overthinking every little thing, it actually slows you down. And the best thing and the best way to learn is to just get out there and do it. And that's why it's called failing forward, because every time you get out there, and I know for me, I sent a lot of messages in the beginning that probably people were like, holy crap, this girl is obnoxious. Like, I don't ever want to talk to her again. And months later, I went back and kind of apologized that I had been a new coach and, you know, maybe not approached them so nicely. But the only way that you're going to learn what works for you and what is successful for you is in doing. So if that's one thing that you take away tonight, just really share yourself, share your story, and get out there. You know, this is a relationship business. That's what you want to focus on, building those relationships, building that trust. And it is also a numbers game. You know, the more people you talk to, the more successful you're going to be. So if you're struggling and you're not hitting Success Club and you're not where you want to be every single month, talk to more people. Add to your network. You know, if you're only sending 5 messages a day to new people, send 10, send 20, whatever you want to do. If you want to hit those goals, you need to, you know, act accordingly. So I think that's all, because I'm out of breath. Does anybody have any questions for Laura? I will unmute you. If you do, you can just raise your hand.
I just want to say something real quick, because I think Laura is a prime example of what we talk about all the time, not making excuses. It's like we're looking at her right now with her little baby bouncing on her lap, talking about how she works and she's taking care of her kids. And it just goes to show you that everybody's busy. Everybody has crazy things going on in their lives, but it doesn't mean that you can't make it happen. And I'm so just re-inspired by your passion and motivation. So keep rocking. It's just awesome. Awesome to see.
Can I say something too?
I was just going to say, Kelly, you don't have any questions?
I just want to say that the sharing thing was really hard for me at first, but I just did it, you know, just sharing all of the vulnerabilities that you have. And I mean, I don't know, I noticed such a big difference in what our business is really personal. Like, we have to ask people a lot of personal questions to be able to help them. And unless you're being personal too, like, it's hard to talk about that stuff. And I just really find, like, today I posted this really personal story that was like, parts of it I was like cringing typing. But like, I had so many people reach out to me today and tell me things like, you know, like crazy things that like I would never tell someone that I barely knew, but they told me because they felt comfortable because I'm so honest. And I feel like, I don't know, we kind of like don't think about the value of that. Like it's one thing to share all of these great things about what you're doing, but to share things that you're struggling with really allows people to feel comfortable to reach out and talk to you. And I think, you know, Laura's done a great job with that. Dana always does that. But I don't know. I just kind of like had that aha moment today when I was like, wow, I can't believe all of these people are telling me these things. Like, so I don't know. I just wanted to share that.
That's awesome, Kelly. It's so true. Does anybody else have any questions? We have about 10 minutes left. No. If you guys don't have any questions, I just want to quickly mention to you guys, I don't know if you've seen, but we started our summer sale went live today, and we have some products and programs on there that are up to 85% off. Those are a great way to boost your, you know, your income, but also to build relationships with people that, you know, maybe aren't ready to buy a challenge pack and invest all that money yet, but they want to try a program. Or if you have people that have programs that want, you know, some workout equipment, or maybe they want some fitness apparel. But it's also great if you have people that have gone inactive, to let them know that there is a sale going on, because sometimes people went inactive because maybe they got bored with what they're doing and they just quit and figured, like, I'll do something else. But maybe sparking their interest of trying a new program. There's like Insanity Asylums on there, Less Milk Pump is on there, Hip Hop Abs, things like that. So I made a post on my like page today for it, but just, you know, a simple little post of, hey, if you'd like to check out our summer skills, you know, let me know and I'll send you a link. And they can basically find that link by going to your Team Beachbody page, and they can click on shop, and then it'll say summer sale, or it'll say, I think it says summer sale apparel maybe. But it's worth doing. And for you even to go in there, if you want to stock up your library and get an extra program for yourself, or get some apparel to wear, because wearing and sharing is a great way for people to know what you do as a coach. I run errands in mine a lot, and they do start a lot of conversations. So just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that. And I did post in the team page what all it includes, but I think they've been adding things to it all day long as they went live. So just keep refreshing it and you might see new things. And they do go fast, so don't wait if you're thinking about something. If nobody has any other questions, I'll let you guys go for the night. Thank you, Laura, so much for stepping up and talking. Hope it was helpful to everybody. Have a good night, guys.
Bye, guys.